Cool. All right. Good evening, everyone. Now, who's ever heard the sound of a vacuum cleaner up close? Or maybe a motorcycle engine without any earplugs in? Possibly even a fireworks display that went off on the ground. Now, these are all examples of some loud sounds that can result in a ringing sensation that you may hear in some movies after a flashbang or a big explosion. Now, this is an example of a condition called tinnitus. And tinnitus is described as perceived ringing in the ears. And as of now, there's no going back once you hear it. And it's a real thing, and it's irreversible once it happens. Now, we all probably carry around a pair of fancy noise-canceling headphones. Probably all have AirPods in our pocket. And these are generally a good first line of defense against loud sounds because we all have them in our pockets already. But we don't have to have fancy noise-canceling headphones. We can have simple foam earplugs. And based on that, hearing protection is a vital piece of personal protection equipment, or PPE, that can protect your hearing, prevent damage later in life, and won't affect the sound of the music if you're going to that concert for that live event feel. Now, first of all, we have to find out how loud is too loud. Well, thanks to Sweetwater, who is a producer or a distributor of audio and visual equipment, we have this lovely chart here that shows some common volume ranges that range from safe to possibly dangerous. A rock concert is around 100 to 120 dB average, and this can result in permanent hearing damage, which, unlike old age hearing, doesn't just decrease your sensitivity, but can in fact introduce permanent ringing and other artifacts in your hearing forever. There's no going back once you hear it. Now, how can we combat this? Well, the first line of defense is probably the headphones, since you already have them, but those big orange foam earplugs that you get at the pharmacy is probably a better idea. The website Healthy Hearing describes earplugs like these, the big yellow boys, as being very cheap and easy to find, easy to use, all that. These are probably what you want to use if you're just needing some type of protection. Whereas these blue ones are of the pre-molded type. And generally these are what you're going to want if you're going to the concert and still want that live feel. They're not as muffled as the foam earplugs can be. Now, even better, we could get some custom molded earplugs. These fit perfectly to the shape of your ear and also don't have that same muffling quality as the cheap old foam earplugs do. Now, do they work? Yeah, they do. In 2016, JAMA Otolaryngology, which is fancy word saying ENT study, well, they did a study with a group of adults and going to an outdoor concert and found that 12%, only 12% of the people who had some type of earplugs, whether it be these or possibly even the cheaper ones, only 12% of those people got any form of damage whatsoever. I just realized the camera can't see that. There you go. The camera can see it now. 12% of those people got damage, whereas the other group, people who didn't have any protection, 40% of them got permanent hearing damage. So the lowest end earplugs that was part of the study had a attenuation of negative 18 dB. Attenuation meaning lowering the noise. Now that 18 dB, if we look at our chart again, that brings us from around the 120, 100 range that most concerts are at. It brings us down to, a safer level. It's not that safe, but it's better. That's the lowest tier. It only goes up from there. This shows that personal protection equipment, especially hearing protection, is vital when attending those events that can have sounds even in these upper ranges. Now, wrapping up, the main reasons why we need this hearing protection is to protect from damage later in life, and we don't need to worry about it muffling the sound, or if it's done right, can still give you that live feel without having any of the disadvantages of permanent hearing protection. If we continue to go to loud concerts listen to loud music in our headphones or our giant PA systems and expose our senses to these loud sounds constantly just for the fun of it, then there isn't any cure for this. It's going to be around forever. Without the right equipment, we can result in permanent hearing damage, and the tinnitus can take over your senses with that ringing sensation, because we need to protect it as much as we can early in life. Thank you. That's it. We're done.